I got to tell you, the Miami Marlins have given us more excitement in the first series of the season, the first 4 games of the season, than many of us, me included, expected for the entire year. I'm not even kidding you. 3 walk-off wins in 4 games. To be 3-1 is nothing short of a miracle. I understand you're playing the Pirates, but to be 3-1 is nothing short of a miracle. But to do it via 3 walk-off wins is more excitement than we expected from the Marlins. I applaud them. It has been fun as hell.
I was gonna say I never stay in the car. Like, I listen to sports radio. I listen to Joe. I listen to Tobin, Leroy. I listen to everybody. When they had Griffin Conine on this morning, I was dropping off Chaz, and I sat in my driveway to listen to him talk. And if you didn't listen to that interview, go listen to it. He was like, "We know people don't believe in us. We're gonna have to win grimy games, and we're prepared for that. And to have to start the season with 3 walk-off type things, we know what to expect over the next." My math isn't that good. 178 or 158, whatever the hell it is.
158.
Like, 158. Yeah. No, 157, because they're 4 games in.
You're right. Yeah.
Right? 157. But he was like, we knew what team we have. We know what we're dealing with. We know we're young. So, like, listening to Griffin Conine, who had an amazing series, I was like, hell, I can jump on that bandwagon with some young guys.
He had an unbelievable catch over the weekend. His dad, Jeff Conine, Mr. Marlin, was inducted into the Teal Hall of Fame yesterday with the teal jacket. That was cool. I know Solana was at the game yesterday with his fiance and his nephew. Like, a little bit of excitement. It's fun. It's not what we expected, and I love it. So when you go into a season with not just no expectations, but negative expectations, and they give you 3 out of 4 exciting games to start the season, sign me up for that every single time. Along that line of thought, Josh Appel will join us today. He was at a couple Marlins games this weekend as well. The NFL owners, they're meeting at the Breakers in Palm Beach. I believe that's where you had your wedding, right? The Breakers up in Palm Beach.
Ooh. Yeah, man. That's a pretty penny up there.
Yeah, that is not an inexpensive facility.
She asked to go back sometimes. I said, no, we did it once. You know what it looks like.
That's it. Well, there's a lot of news coming from the owners' meetings. Mike McDaniel met with the media today. We'll talk a little bit about what he said. There's a bit of a debate going on, apparently, as to whether or not the league is going to ban the tush push. There seems to be some growing momentum that it might actually get banned. So we'll have to see how all that shakes out. It's kind of, I wanted to ask Appel about it. We can ask him in the next segment. I wonder if is there any similarities between the tush push and this yoked bat that the Yankees are using. Now,
torpedo.
That torpedo, it's legal for anyone. Anyone can use it. But the Yankees were the ones who saw the opportunity. There was a great picture today. I don't know if you saw Pat McAfee today. It's Jazz Chisholm's bat, and it's like the best look at the torpedo that I had seen, that McAfee had seen. I mean, you see it's bulbous in the part. That's Jazz Chisholm, and that bat is bulbous in the middle, but it does not break any rules. And I know the Yankees put up 20 in one of their games over the weekend. I think Aaron Judge hit like 400 home runs opening series, so he's on pace for like 16,000 home runs this season. But I don't know. Are there similarities to that in the tush push? Hey, anyone can do it. If you don't exploit it, that's on you.
100,000%. I actually thought about that. And I'll bring up Griffin Conine again. It's crazy. I would listen to the interview, and he said baseball bats have been the same for 100 years. Everything in life is evolving. Why wouldn't we expect baseball bats to evolve? Where if you hit it, and I kind of know baseball because Little Chan plays, why does the tip top of the bat have to be fat? If you hit the tip top of the bat, it's going to foul off anyway, or pop up. Make the main part of the bat the main part, and then now with it's less drag, everybody was. I was listening. I went to MLB Network today because they were talking about it. It's less drag on the top, and the bat moves faster. But the main part of the bat that hit home runs and singles and line drives and the good stuff, make that the main focus of the bat. It makes sense. It
makes all the sense in the world.
All the sense in the world. The dude, he works for the Yankees. I mean, he works for the Marlins.
Works for the Marlins, yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah. He works for the Marlins, which is the craziest part. So I expect some Marlins to start swinging this damn torpedo. It makes perfect sense. Evolution of life. Why have these bats been the same for 100 years?
Unfortunately, because of the Marlins, front office issues, they put this guy in charge of creating a cruise ship replica in the outfield that launches fireworks. They didn't realize that they would benefit more by maybe having him work on the bats. And he kept telling him, I'm a bat expert. And they're like, yeah. But can you work? You obviously can work with wood. Make a little cruise ship for the outfield, and we want it to blow off fireworks. And so maybe they've wasted the first few weeks of his tenure.
I would like to warn the Marlins organization that his name's Lenny something. He's going to have some job offers that open up here soon. They might want to upgrade him to a better position.
Yeah, he's the Elon Musk of baseball. He's toiling away in the cruise ship in the woodworking department.
He shouldn't be setting off fireworks, Hawk. Let's give him a better job.
Let us begin with headlines. How was the Marlins game yesterday, by the way, Solana?
Electric. And when Griffin Conine hit that home run, I'm not kidding. I have not heard the stadium that loud since the Jose era. I swear. And I go to Marlins games a lot.
Did you stay for the end? You stayed for the walk-off?
I was there late in the game.
Did you stay for the end?
He's lying.
I was in Miami for the end of that game.
I got you. All right. Well, it was a long game. If was it yesterday's game that went extras, or was it Saturday's?
No, I think yesterday ended in the bottom of the ninth. Saturday's went in.
Was never ending.
Yeah. But I parked on the top floor of the roof. So
why are you parking in this parking lot? We've talked about this on this show.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hawk. Maybe because yesterday Miami experienced the worst rainstorm that they've experienced in 20 years.
That's true.
And just walking from the park, I do have some notes for Lone Depot Park if you want to get to them a little bit later.
I'll get them right now.
I'm not an engineer.
No better time than the present.
And shout out to the Marlins because I had the best time yesterday. I really did. The food is fantastic. They have a pan con bistec stand now. Like they get it. The Marlins get it. They really do it in terms of
telling
experience.
You, as bad as the Marlins are at times, and they haven't been this season, no one ever leaves that ballpark and says, I had a terrible afternoon. Mm-hmm. Everyone always has a great time there. And it is. The food is great. The layout of the ballpark is great. Like I love it there.
They do some A+ Hall of Fame type things, but then there's other aspects like Solana's about to get into this parking and this roster. If they could get everything together, it would be stupid to go down there. Yep. I love baseball.
But the parking issue is just not going to get fixed. The reality is that there's one road on each side of each parking lot, and there's one entrance to 836, which gets you to 95. Everybody's trying to get to that part. There's 30,000 people at the game yesterday. You're going to sit in traffic. Like it just is what it is.
Which, by the way, true of any ballpark that doesn't have public transportation. We don't have public transportation down here that works well. And so this is what you get.
That is. So I honestly, I normally Uber to the ballpark and then I'll hang out for a couple hours. I'll go down to the recess club, or I think now it's called the bullpen, whatever. And I wait an hour until the game's over.
It's not
then I
recess
get
anymore.
Uber. They changed it. I think it's called the bullpen bar and grill now. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. But you have this beautiful ballpark. You have a roof. When it pours yesterday, I'm not kidding, it was the best activity to do on a Sunday where it was a monsoon in Miami, flooding everywhere. The worst rain Kendall's had in 20 years. Best activity. Go to the Marlins game. You're in a dome.
Time of your life.
But to get from the parking garages into the stadium, there is no covering anywhere. And yesterday, with the amount of rain that there was and the flooding in the stadium, around the stadium, by the time you get into the ballpark, it didn't matter if you waited it out. It just didn't matter. Soaked, socks, shoes, all wet. You have to buy a hoodie inside because it was freezing cold when you get in there. Not their fault.
But I will say, I don't think there's a ballpark on the planet that has covered walkways from parking lots, unless, the Heat has a parking lot underneath the stadium.
Wow.
But I don't think there's a ballpark on the planet that has covered walkways, whether you're at Hard Rock or wherever.
Which is why I'm not necessarily ripping the Marlins here. This is not
Get the
their
bat
fault.
guy on
Mother
that.
Nature.
That bat guy can fix anything.
Build one covered walkway. Why? Like what? That can't be that difficult. Couple
little pergola. A little pergola. Throw a little pergola walk. Have the pergola walk.
And then
nobody has that. Stadiums don't have that.
But we're in Miami, Hawk, and you have to park in the parking
situation.
garages. And rain is prevalent in South Florida during the summer months.
I don't hear you complaining about the Panthers. They don't have any kind of covered walkway if it's raining.
It doesn't rain as much during Panthers.
And they're the Stanley Cup champions. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I think that's an unfair criticism.
Again, not a criticism. I said I have recommendations for the Marlins.
No, and I think Solana hit it on the head, though. I don't think there's a fix to this, but those parking garages, it's going to take you an hour and a half to get out if you don't leave early.
I can't tell you enough. Do not park in those parking garages.
Yeah,
I've been saying it for years.
But Solana getting his little raw shirt wet, I don't know if that's a real criticism.
There's no stadium on the planet that if it's raining, you're not going to get wet walking from the parking lot to the stadium. I mean, that's just reality. There's no movie theater that if it's pouring out, you can't walk from the parking lot to the movie theater. Like it's just not the way our society is set up.
Well, in Indianapolis, the Colts Stadium, they have all those indoor over the highway walks and all, and you could walk around in 0 degrees.
But I mean, it's 20 degrees below zero. It's unhealthy to be outside during winter.
I understand. I'm just saying, you said there's no stadium in the world, but there is the Colts Stadium.
No, I don't think, and I've never been to Indianapolis Stadium, but I can't imagine that every exterior lot has a covered walkway to the stadium. I don't buy that.
You can walk around Colts Stadium. I don't even, what's it called? I don't even know the name.
Lucas Oil Field.
You can walk around Lucas Oil, go to restaurants, go to parking garages, go everywhere, and don't even go outside. Don't even see a bird.
You can.
I just told you.
I'm pretty sure you're not right.
And I get it.
I've never even been in Indianapolis.
Minnesota has a skywalk. It's like 8 miles of indoor walking that you can do around malls and stores and all that.
Again, it's not a criticism, Hawk, because I get what you're saying. It's an unfair thing to hold against the Marlins, and I'm not really holding it against them because I think once you get into the ballpark, you have the best time. You really do. But you're in Miami. Torrential downpours during the summer months are common, and baseball is during the summer. And it's built perfectly to add a couple pergolas so that at the very least, you get covered.
I mean, you want to build the farm system, or you want some pergolas?
Some pergolas, actually.
I don't know. This farm system ain't working out. Those pergolas are going to work.
I mean,
I'm a pergola guy.
What do you think, Crowder? Bruce Sherman, he's got to shut out a couple million to improve the gyms and the baseball fields in Jupiter, or 30 racks you pay Abelardo and Hialeah, and bro,
my guy, Cricket Outdoor Living, they do pergolas.
Boom, there you go.
I'm serious. Call them. It's not hard to put up a pergola. All you need is little metal things to hold.
I don't think I'm authorized. I don't think I'm authorized to do that on behalf of the Marlins or the city.
I'm gonna call Bruce. Let's call Bruce.